Hey polers, welcome to my YouTube channel. Eileen here with a new pole tutorial. Today we're going to learn a called trick Batwing. This is an advanced trick and it requires a lot of strength, so make sure that you have a strong base to try this. Let's get on the pole. Alright, so for this trick what we're going to do is take 1 or 2 climbs, then we'll do an inversion, hook our outside leg hang, put our elbow through, change to inside leg hang and get into this Batwing. So I'm going to show you on the floor what you're going to do with your legs so that you can also do it on the floor and understand what's going to be happening, and then go all the way up and do exactly the same thing but actually the whole trick. Alright, so getting down on the floor, we are going to imagine that we're going to do an inversion and then an outside leg hang. Here is when I'm going to say you have to change the elbow. So this arm, your inside arm, is going to go through this space here, right here for your elbow, all right? So make sure that after you do your outside leg hang, you change this hand to get the elbow through, and then you're going to switch the legs and get the inside leg on the pole, and then release this arm. This arm is going to go down on the pole as well. I'm going to show you when we're up the pole, but for now you really need to understand this switch so that when you do it up the pole, you don't get stuck in this position. So if we were going to do the other side, we would do that inversion, outside leg hang, switch the inside arm to the elbow grip, switch the legs to get the inside leg hang and release the top arm. Once we release the top arm, we're going to be in this position. Of course, the legs are going to be hooked on the pole, but just imagine that your top leg is hooked like we did on that inside leg hang, and you are already on that position where you have that arm, the top arm, free. Then you are going to take it down on the pole, look down on the pole so that you can actually spot where that arm is going to go. So look down, spot the pole, grab it, and go to your elbow. Both elbows are going to be gripping like this on the pole, so make sure that you have a very strong grip here on your elbows. You really need to practice the grip on the elbows. A way to do that is getting on the position that I am right now with both elbows really gripped. So I'm not only with the elbows on the pole, but I'm actually gripping, so I'm pushing those elbows into the pole, really getting my fists towards my shoulders so that I am really engaging. Once I'm here, what you can practice to get this trick is just from here, try to take those legs out. So you can do one at a time or both, whatever you want. So you can take out one and then the other, hold that position, or both at the same time and hold the position. Just practice that because that's what you're going to be doing up the pole. So make sure that you can try this a couple of times to really understand the engagement that you gotta do on your core. Make sure that the pole on your back is on the upper back. So if I am facing you the other way around so that you can spot where you should be, the pole should be right on this spot on the upper back. So it should never be on your real back or lower or whatever. Always high here on the upper back where you can feel the pole pushing away and you can grip those elbows and not have any type of pain. You're on your muscles here, so make sure that you are correctly engaging this and you're not pressing into your spine on the middle back or the lower back. Alright, so we already went through the leg switches on the floor. Now we went through the arms, what they're going to be doing. And then the last thing that will happen is that as our elbows are going to be in this position, we're going to grab the thighs. You don't have to, the actual Batwing is grabbing the thighs, but you can absolutely just stay with the elbows. Grabbing the thighs is a little easier than just staying with the elbows. So I highly suggest that first you try grabbing your thighs, and then if you feel really safe, you can just go to elbows. I'm going to show you both ways. I'm going to go up the pole, as I said before, for a couple of times and do the whole thing that I did on the floor, which is an inversion, outside leg hang, get the elbow through, switch the legs to inside leg hang, Get the top arm down to elbow as well, gripping both elbows, then releasing the top leg to grab the legs and get into that Batwing. So going for those times, for that inversion, outside leg hang, getting the elbow through, switching the legs to inside leg hang, that leg goes back, we go with the top arm down to hook on the elbow as well. Now the leg goes forward, it was here behind, now it goes forward. I am going to grab the thigh here as my top arm is already there, and then I'm going to start slowly getting down until I get to that Batwing, and then release on the floor. So it's really important for this trick that you really engage your core, because you're going to be holding that position for a while. So you really gotta engage that core to keep your legs up. So you wanna be kind of on a straddle. So you wanna be taking your legs forward as you're grabbing with your hand, your thigh. So make sure that you're engaging your legs. They cannot be relaxed. You really have to engage them, point your toes and bring them forward, imagining a straddle. That's the key to this trick. You really wanna focus on that straddle position and holding that straddle position sideways so that you can hold that position very nicely, and you can grab both thighs to help you keep those legs where they are on that straddle. Alright, so let me show you now how to do this just with the elbows, so not grabbing your thighs. It's going to be the exact same thing, but the only difference is that as we're coming out from that inside leg hang out into this straddle position, we're not going to be grabbing our thighs to hold that straddle position of the Batwing. We're just going to hold it with our core and our elbows, alright? So that's the only difference. So again, a couple of times, outside leg hang after our inversion. Switch the elbow through, get the leg forward to switch to inside leg hang, get the elbow down, leg forward, coming out, just holding with the elbows. So for the elbows, without the Batwing, it's going to be, as I said, the exact same thing, but you're not going to have that kind of help of grabbing your thighs. You're only going to be engaging your core and your elbows, gripping on the pole to hold the position. So it's much harder because you're going to have to actively keep that straddle position. With the Batwing, you kind of have a little help with your hands here, holding into your thighs to help you hold the position. With just elbows, you don't have that grip of the thighs, so it makes it much more demanding to hold the position by yourself by really actively engaging your core and your elbows to hold that straddle position. So really go through these steps. This is a hard trick. It requires a lot of strength, but also a lot of technique. So make sure that you go through those steps. If you skip something, it's going to get really hard, or you're not going to be on the exact same spot that you need for the grip to feel secure to actually get into the trick. So make sure that you go through those steps. You get into that inversion, you hook that outside leg hang, you get the elbow through, you switch the legs to inside leg hang, you release the top arm down to get the elbow through, and then you bring the leg forward to start sliding out of the pole, grabbing your thighs to hold that straddle position, and then coming down on the pole. And if you do it with just the elbows, you just skip the part of grabbing the thighs. So really go through those steps. Again, do it from the floor a couple of times like I showed you at the beginning, so that you really understand the switching, because that's like the most confusing part once you're upside down. So make sure you do it a couple of times on the floor with the elbow through, the switch of the legs, and then when you're upside down, also focus a lot on that second elbow and really getting your body down. You really want to look down. There's a lot of struggle when you are here trying to get the arm on the pole if you're facing up. So make sure that once the first part is done and you're going to hook the elbow, the second elbow down, you look down. You're not just like fighting through. You really need to change your side, look down, spot the pole, and then get that elbow through. It's going to be much easier if you actually look at what you're doing. And then also take your time releasing the leg from the pole. So once you are with both elbows on the pole and you have the leg forward and you only have the inside leg holding on the pole and you're about to release it, do it slowly. I showed you releasing it kind of fast, but you should do that slowly. Take your time, feel how the grip goes every time you release that leg a little bit. So once you get through that and you're starting to take the inside leg out, just take it out a little, a little, a little. Feel how that feels, and when you're completely safe and you feel like, okay, I got the grip on either the elbows or the thighs, you can take the leg out completely. But don't rush to get into that straddle position, getting the leg all the way out of the pole. I would say that that part of the trick, you gotta take it slowly, because it's going to feel really aggressive. It's going to change a lot how it feels once you take the leg out of the pole. That leg is going to be helping you to stay on the pole. So once you take it out, it's all about your core. So it's going to be a big change. So that's why I'm saying release it little by little, so you start to feel that engagement that you're going to be needing. And when you are safe, you go out completely. But don't rush that part, because it's very important for you to be very engaged once you take the leg out completely, so that you don't just drop on the floor. Also, you can use a band around your waist to help you understand this trick. At the beginning, it's going to be very hard, so maybe it's a good idea that you put a band up the pole, put it around your waist like I've showed you in some of my other videos, and do everything just the same but with the band, so that it helps you to stay up. You understand the feeling, and when you feel safe, you just take the band out and complete your training without the band. But I highly recommend that you take it step by step. Again, start from the floor, then go up the pole, use a band, go slowly, step by step, and don't rush any of the steps. Make sure that every time you progress into another step, you are ready for it. Finally, remember what I said about the straddle. Either you're doing it with your hands on your thighs for the actual Batwing, or you're doing the elbow version that I showed you. Always think about that straddle position. Don't think about taking your legs to the back. This is like the Iron X, very similar to Iron X, but with elbows. So remember that position where you are on that kind of straddle or handspring, and your legs are close to your tummy. So your thighs are really close to your tummy. You really want to get that straddle position as secure as you can, so that you are completely safe and gripped in that trick. Alright, polers, so I hope that you learned how to do the Batwing and the variation with just the elbows. As I said, this is a very demanding trick, so take your time, there's no rush. Make sure that you train both sides, even if one is going to be much harder than the other. Just do your best. And also I encourage you to use a mattress on the floor, so that you're completely safe training this. Put as much time as you can into training this trick, because that's what's going to get you results. I hope you have fun training this trick, and I hope that you liked this video. And if you did, please give it a like, subscribe to my channel, turn on the notifications, and drop in the comments all the feedback or questions that you have for me. As always, I am happy to connect with you all through any social media, so please feel free to reach out. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I hope I will see you soon on my next video.